All right, welcome back here on WSGW, the Art Lewis Show from the Maytag Store, 3800 Tittabawassee Road in Saginaw. Here for the Cupcake Throwdown, and with me right now, the co-host on our Listen to the Missus podcast, and co-host with me on our former Listen to the Missus on-air program, Ann Williams.
Mm-hmm.
You walked around and looked at the baking of the cupcakes.
Yes, they're looking beautiful already.
Boy, aren't
and
they ever?
They're doing some really intricate work, some of the contestants, too.
I haven't seen all the work yet, haven't been able to, but just looking at the titles.
The piping bags are out and all kinds of things.
Well, we have Carol Sozier of Bay City, strawberry cream-filled cupcakes. Joan Gerhardt of Saginaw making champagne cupcakes with raspberry cream filling. Linda Schmidt making a German chocolate cupcake. Cheryl Williams of Bay City with a cupcake of sunshine. Cameron Chasness making chocolate surprise cupcakes. Tiffany Bateson of Saginaw with Butterfinger cupcakes. Melissa Kildow making double chocolate milkshake cupcakes with raspberry surprise and salted caramel drizzle. And a couple of new entries. A couple of folks haven't been with us before. I like that.
Yeah.
New contestants.
Yes.
Competing for cash money from the Maytag Store. Are you a cupcake baker? You're pretty good at anything you want to do in the kitchen, but
I don't bake cupcakes all that often. Not really. I'm usually making the whole cake. Instead of the individual ones.
A lot more there.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Cupcakes, if I make them, it's probably to take somewhere for a special occasion, not necessarily for the house or anything like that. Yeah. Or for desserts for the holidays.
Yeah, I must admit, we don't do it at home very often. Once in a while, Lynn will make them, but not very often. I bake if I have to, but I'm not and it doesn't... I'd rather be making pot stickers and Chinese stuff than making cupcakes and stuff.
I think of cupcakes as kind of a special treat. It's sort of it's not something you eat for dessert every day. It's kind of a special occasion thing.
But boy, have they become popular. There's cupcake stores all over the place, and I think we can accredit the Food Network and some of their cupcake challenges to that.
Yeah, they have some of those too. They had a lot of cupcake stores a few years ago, and some of those have fallen by the wayside.
Yeah,
but
well, it became a fad, and we're in and out of fads all the time.
Yeah. But people always like them because they're a nice little package, and you can make them pretty and be creative with them. So that's what they're doing today, for sure.
So have you started to think about your Christmas food yet?
Yes, I'm just kind of thinking, not doing a whole lot yet. Thinking, haven't bought any groceries yet, just kind of thinking of what it's going to be. The last few years, I've made a cheesecake for dessert, and I've experimented with different types. And I'm thinking about going back to one of my previous recipes.
Like a New York-style cheesecake? Dense, heavy?
Yes, that's the kind I like. But I like to try different flavors and things for the holidays. And a couple of years ago, I've talked about the eggnog cheesecake I made with ginger snap crust. That was really good. And then the next year, I made a cappuccino one, which had like a chocolate crust. And I'm thinking about making one of those two again this year. Maybe both. I don't know.
What time should we be over?
They came out really good, too. I was surprised. Cheesecakes aren't as hard to make as they seem to be. They're not quite as hard.
Use a water bath?
I did use a water bath for the cappuccino one. And it had the instructions called for, I think you had to turn the oven off and leave it in there for a while.
Absorb the heat?
Yeah. But it came out beautiful.
It really worked, huh? Sounds intriguing. I've never been it's only in recent years that I've begun eating cheesecakes. I've never been a cheese fan, and I think the only reason I didn't eat cheesecake was I thought it tasted too cheesy.
Cheesecake's pretty far from actual cheese.
It really doesn't. It's very good. I've discovered how good it is. Much to my detriment, I've discovered how good it is.
It's my favorite all-time dessert. I've said it many times.
Yeah. And it's
and my favorite kind is, as you said, the New York thick, dense cheesecake. That's my standard for cheesecake, really.
Yeah, I think in the industry, I think that's pretty much
because that was the first kind of cheesecake I ever had. There was a place, and I've talked about it before, in Flint, that was called Uncle Bob's, and it was a deli, one of those old-style, not deli, old-style diners.
Oh, diners, yeah.
And
absolutely.
Yeah, with, and they served a cheesecake like that, a very authentic New York-style cheesecake. And that was the first kind I ever had. My dad loved it. He'd drive all the way to Flint just to get that. His parents lived there, so we used to go there to visit my grandparents.
Let me guess, in his Oldsmobile.
Yes, for sure. And we would often stop there and bring some home. And that was my first experience with cheesecake. So that's the cheesecake by which I measure all cheesecakes.
That's interesting, the things that we grew up with.
Yeah.
That's how we measure food today by what we were used to when we grew up, you know. Mm-hmm. My mother made brisket a certain way, and that's how I measure brisket today. Mm-hmm. She makes this noodle kugel that she used to make, and that's how I measure all of that stuff against that. Mm-hmm. And it is. You grow up with it, and it's ingrained in you, you know.
That's
it
what
really develops the taste. All right. We're talking to Ann Williams, our former co-host on our live Listen to the Mrs. program, current co-host, of course, with me on our Listen to the Mrs. podcast, which reminds me, I guess today is today is the day,
Today
right?
is the day we normally record.
That's right. That's right. And it's kind of fun. Podcasts are kind of the wave of the future. We talk about current deals and things and food and recipes, and it runs maybe 15 to 17 minutes. Find it on various podcast sites.
And we should let people know. They can contact us and, let us know what kinds of things they'd like to hear.
Absolutely.
If they want to request a recipe, they can get hold of us.
And, in addition, as we did the day before Thanksgiving, this year the day before Christmas, the 10 o'clock hour will be a Listen to the Mrs. special. So we will be there to help you with your last-minute foodies. The day before Christmas, Christmas Eve, is our traditional Christmas, if you will, because normally in the past I've always had to work very early Christmas morning. I don't have to do that this year.
Oh, boy.
I didn't have to work Thanksgiving. I don't have to work Christmas. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. But it's our tradition. I think a lot of people have food traditions for the holidays. You know, this what we do on Christmas Eve, we have been doing probably for better than 50 years. And it really hasn't changed much.
You have the same foods.
The same foods, the same
lay them out
way
the
of
same
doing
way.
it. Only difference is there's more people at the table now with our sons grown and married. So we have those 2 extra gals that are part of the family now. But before that, it was just the boys and us and whatever animals we had around. But we have done the same thing for all of those years, and it's pretty much a finger food dinner. We take and all year round, by the way, we look for deals and try and find the best prices on the things we know we're going to need. For example, we take filet and cube it up and marinate it in teriyaki sauce, and then we deep fry it for about 20 seconds to get a color on the outside of it. But other than that, it's raw. And we take it and grill it over hibachis at the table. So we take a piece, cut it, put it on the hibachi. When it's cooked, we eat it. Wonderful. Teriyaki chicken wings have been a staple in our house for as long as I can remember, so they're out there. The other day, for example, I already made my pot stickers.
Oh, wow.
Made them and froze them, and I'll just cook them just before we're ready to serve on Christmas Eve. We'll have shrimp, and we'll have sausage rounds the boys like. Once in a while, we'll have little pizza and egg rolls and things like that.
Well, that sounds like fun. A lot of people have different traditions, for the foods they eat. And a lot of people eat lasagna on Christmas Eve. And I'm not sure why.
Are you kidding me? No kidding.
And I'm not sure what the background of that is. But
strong Italian influence, I would have to think. The Italians probably celebrate
everybody has their own way. And some people open gifts on Christmas Eve. Do you open gifts on
Yes,
Christmas
we
Eve?
do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we do. Because the boys, particularly now that they're married, they have other obligations with their in-laws that they go to. And it's because I worked Christmas morning all the time.
Yeah.
Christmas Eve became our night to open gifts.
That makes sense, yeah.
And usually in the past, boys aren't home now, but we tried to give them, we didn't give them 8 gifts for Hanukkah, but we tried to give them just to let them know what the holiday is, you know. And so we've kind of maintained that historically. I don't recall one year, and it was probably back around 1984. 1 year and 1 year only, we were not home for Christmas. We were down in Florida, and I think we might have done Disney. And I can remember distinctly going into a mall. It's 80 degrees outside and sunny. And you go into a mall and you see Christmas lights. And it just didn't feel like Christmas, because we're used to cold weather and snow and things like that. And it was hard to get in the mood.
Yeah,
you know?
I've always wondered what that's like to celebrate Christmas in a warm climate. I
Well, I
could
guess
try it sometime.
Well, I guess if you live there all the time and you're used
yeah,
to
you're
it,
used to it.
It's part of life.
Yeah,
but
like that commercial they have with the palm tree with the lights on it.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You know, but it was kind of strange to walk into a mall and you came out of 80-degree weather and there's a Christmas tree and you go, really, does that belong here? But
I remember one Christmas though. Was back, I think, in, I'm going to say 1980. Terry Henny would know. That one Christmas where it was like 70 degrees.
Played golf?
Yeah.
Yep. There's been a number of 60s. I remember quite a few 60s.
Yeah.
That was a strange year.
I remember going past the tennis courts when people were playing tennis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, the weather was nice. Why not, Well, the Cupcake Throwdown underway here at the Maytag Store. Wonderful cupcakes being made. And thanks for coming out and helping this morning.
Yeah, it's always fun.
Ann Williams she's our news director and my co-host for our listeners.